The chief executive says the government will adopt a housing target of 470,000 units in the next 10 years. And Wah Phu Estate in Pok Fu Lam will be developed, generating about 12,000 public housing and subsidized units. Evelina Leung has that story.
Last month, I came across a family in Mongkok. The young couple took a picture of me with their only daughter, who was 3 years old. I asked them, "Do you plan to have another baby?" And they replied, "Our flat is too small for 2 children, Mr. Chief Executive." The answer is very typical.
Leung used this example to highlight the need to increase housing and land supply. The CE said the government will adopt the Long-Term Housing Strategy Steering Committee's target of providing 470,000 units in the next 10 years. 60% of that will be public housing, the rest private. This means developing about 20,000 public rental housing and 8,000 home ownership scheme flats each year in the coming decade, and an estimated 13,600 private units per year in the next 5 years. Some of these homes will be built on plots that have already been identified. The government has identified about 80 additional greenbelt sites and government institution or community sites with a total area of over 150 hectares that have the potential to be rezoned for residential use. These plots will be made available in the next 5 years. Together with the previous sites identified for rezoning, there are about 150 sites that will be rezoned for residential use. That will provide 210,000 units over the next 5 years. The government will also lift the development moratorium at the south of Pok Fu Lam. It will be used to build public housing, and the area close to Wah Phu Estate will be redeveloped. Also, the government says it favors raising the plot ratio of areas by about 20%, except the north of Hong Kong Island and Kowloon Peninsula. One expert, meanwhile, called in to question the overall private-public housing ratio.
At this moment, because there is a long queue waiting for the public housing, it's reasonable to have 60%. That's more than half of the land distributed to public housing. But in long term, I hope to see more people living in the private sector, then more and more people need to rely on government subsidies. A political leader shall lead our people to be able to pursue their own happiness, not just relying on government.
Evelina Leung, TVB News.